So we get started here. Oh, I want to do that. Bigger, smaller. All right. So in nomine Pater et Filius et Spiritus Sanctus.
Amen.
Pater noster, qui es in celis, sanctificetur nomen tuum, adveniat regnum tuum, fiat voluntas tua, sicut in cielo et in terra. Panem nostrum quotidianum da nobis hodie, et dimitte nobis debita nostra, sicut et nos dimittimus debitoribus nostris, et ne nos inducas in tentationem, sed libera nos a malo. Amen. Pater, Filius, et Spiritus Sanctus. Okay. So you didn't meet last week, yeah?
No.
Correct.
We
4th of July.
That's right.
July weekend, a lot of people
That's right.
were
Okay, it's
here.
hard to keep track of that. And just to start off, so next week, we will not have the 4 o'clock meeting. We'll meet at 7, do everything together because I'll be on my way back from Steubenville at 4 o'clock. Hopefully I'll be here shortly after that, but who knows? I have a 5:30 mass, so I should be there before that. So yeah, so we're gonna do that next week. I'll at 7. So just keep that in mind, and I'll put a flock note out there for
And I know I won't be here,
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Fair enough.
so.
Okay. So I guess maybe first off, any questions or comments or any words maybe anyone's come across that's been sort of, oh, that's interesting, and we don't want to talk about that or anything else.
I enjoyed the stuff this weekend. It was very interesting.
Oh, with the relics, yeah. So the relics of St. Bernadette were in town, and so Mary Beth went down there on Friday, and
They
we.
said they were at the galleys.
Oh, you guys were there
yesterday.
I was at the same queue as them
Oh,
yesterday
wonderful.
morning.
Yeah, so it was really kind of fascinating. Actually, in front of my homily this weekend was what happened with the virtual pilgrimage, and then the thunderstorm came through, and then we're sure if we're going to do the procession. We're going to do a procession on the arch with the rosary, which was cool, and we were wondering if that was going to happen, but also, of course, the work of the Holy Spirit and especially the Blessed Mother and St. Bernadette allowed us to go out and do that, which was really, really a really neat experience. So it was really cool to be sitting on the arch, and the reactions were also very interesting too.
Yeah.
Like that, very reverent, very respectful. No one from I know of said anything ignorant or
No, just kind of
derogatory.
watched.
Yeah, it was really kind of neat. So yeah, so I know she's there for another hour. So if you know what's going on after this, maybe check her out. Great.
I had gone in the morning also for mass.
Oh, yeah.
So I was
Yeah.
there earlier and you could see that we could venerate then and so.
Well, that's
and then
why
I watched the song of Bernadette in between. So
Yeah.
I just spent a whole day of it.
Yeah, so that's why I was a little late. I was there helping out with the parking lot, and then I got kind of sucked in. I was there for the mass, for closing mass, so I figured I'd sit down, and they provided me a little bit of dinner, so that's why I'm a little late getting back, so. All right, well, let's just jump in then, right? So, in nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti,
Amen.
Dominus vobiscum.
Et cum spiritu tuo.
Fratres agnoscimus peccata nostra, ut aptisimus ad mysteria celebrata. Confiteor Deo omnipotente et vobis fratres, quia peccata minis cogitatione verbo opere et omissione. Mea culpa, me maxima culpa. Deo precor beatum Mariam semper virginum, omnes angelos et sanctos, et vos fratres orare pro me ad Dominum Deum nostrum. Miseriator nostri omnipotens Deus, et dimissis peccatis nostris, perducat nos ad vitam aeternam.
Amen.
Kyrie eleison.
Kyrie eleison.
Christe eleison.
Christe eleison.
Kyrie eleison.
Kyrie
eleison. I didn't even have the Gloria, we'll just go ahead and do that anyway. Or should we chant it? Gloria in excelsis Deo, et in terra pax hominibus, bone voluntatis, laudamus te, benedicimus te, adoramus te, glorificamus te, gratias agimus tibi, propter manam gloriam tuam, Domine Deus Rex Celestis, Deus Pater omnipotens, Domine Filii unigenite, Iesu Christe, Domine Deus Agnus Dei, Filius Patris, qui tollis peccata mundi, miserere nobis, qui tollis peccata mundi, suscipe deprecationem nostram, qui sedes ad dexteram Patris, miserere nobis, quoniam tu solus sanctus, tu solus Dominus, tu solus altissimus, Iesu Christe, cum Sancto Spiritu, in gloria Dei Patris. Amen. And oremus, and secula seculorum.
Amen.
Chapter reading, Lectura Secundum Profetas Isaias. And then at the end, Verbum Domini.
Deo gratias.
So we have our responsory from the Magnificat. Then we have the blessings for the deacons and for the priests for the leading. And then the Gospel Dominus Vobiscum.
Et cum spiritu tuo.
Lectio Sancti Evangelii Secundum Lucas.
Gloria tibi Domine.
At the end, Verbum Domini.
Laus tibi Christe.
We talked about last time. That's interesting that it's the Verbum Domini actually is translated as Word of the Lord. But the translation I have here is the Gospel. Or now it's really
That's the old
same
translation.
thing, right? The same thing, right?
Yeah.
You could make you could say that properly speaking should be Evangelium Domini, but whatever. Right? So Laus tibi Christe, praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ, and then the blessing of you. Yeah, so we'll have a quick homily, and then we'll do the credo. So, well, we won't do the credo that night, but maybe it's good practice. Right? So, credo in unum Deum, Patrem omnipotentem, Factorem Caeli et Terrae, visibilium omnium et invisibilium, et in unum Dominum Iesum Christum, Filium Dei unigenitum, et ex Patre natum ante omnia saecula, Deum de Deo, lumen de lumine, Deum vero de Deo vero, genitum non factum consubstantialum Patri, per quem omnia facta sunt, qui propter nos homines et propter nostrum salutem discendit de celis, et incarnatus est de Spiritus Sanctus, ex Maria Virgine, et homo factus est, crucifixus etiam pro nobis sub Pontio Pilato passus, et sepultus est, et resurrexit tertia die secundum scripturas, et ascendit in caelum, sedet ad dexteram Patris, et iterum venturos est cum gloria judicare vivos et mortuos, cuius regni non erit finis, et in Spiritu Sanctum, Dominum et vivificantem, qui ex Patre filioque procedit, qui cum Patre et Filio simul adorator et glorificator, qui locutus est profetas, et unam sanctam catholicam et apostolicam ecclesiam, confiteor unum baptisma in remissionem peccatorum, et expecto resurrectionem mortuorum, et vitam venturi seculi. Amen. And then we'll also do the petitions at that time. We'll have the offertory. So, benedictus est Domini Deus universi, quia de tua largitate excepimus panum, quem tibi offerimus fructum terrae et operis manum omnium, ex quo nobis fiat panis vitae.
Benedictus Deus in saecula.
Benedictus est Domini Deus universi, quia de tua largitate excepimus vinum, quod tibi offerimus fructum vitis et operis manum omnium, ex quo nobis fiat potus spiritualis.
Benedictus Deus in saecula.
Orate fratres, ut meum ac vestrum sacrificium acceptabile fiat equo Deum Patrum omnipotentem.
Suscipia Dominus sacrificium de manibus tuis, ad laudem et gloriam nominis sui, ad utilitatem quoque nostram, totiusque ecclesiae sui sancte.
Amen. And then we'll have the Eucharist prayer start with the preface. So Dominus vobiscum
Et cum spiritu tuo,
Sirsum corda.
habemus ad Dominum,
Gratias agimus Domino Deo nostro.
dignum et justum est.
And we'll have the preface. And then Sanctus, Sanctus, Sanctus Dominus Deus Sabaoth, pleni sunt caeli et terra, gloria tua. Hosanna in excelsis, benedictus, qui venit in nomine Domini, Hosanna in excelsis. So we'll have the Eucharist prayer 1, which we'll use that night, which we're also maybe using every time we have Latin Mass. We'll see. Yeah, so this week, oh, maybe that's a good point. This week, I was supposed to actually not have a Mass scheduled, but Monsignor Simon decided to go out of town on vacation. That's what, retired people do, which is awesome. And so instead of having Monsignor Shamlover take 2 Masses every day, perhaps 3, depending on what his schedule is, I decided to ask, I just gave my services for the 8 o'clock Mass. So we will not be doing a Latin Mass this week.
Okay.
So sorry,
No, it's all right.
but in 3 weeks from this week, right? We'll have one at some point during that week, and I'll make the announcement at that class.
Okay,
So
that's fine.
just keep that in mind.
So when do you leave for,
Stupid.
Super Bowl's this weekend, right? So
okay,
that'll be,
Friday?
so we have the 8 o'clock Mass here Friday with the students, with the kids, with the teens. And then they'll be driving, 2 people driving, and I'll be driving separately. And we'll be speaking, I think we'll be first in Rolla for lunch. Then we're driving the rest of the way down to Springfield to get their rounds.
So you're not really going to Steuben?
No, it's Steubenville Conference in Springfield, Missouri. So the Archdiocese sponsored it every
Explained
year.
that a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, so yeah, Steubenville University puts it, it's kind of comes from that, right? So,
So you don't have as long a drive as I.
no.
thought.
It's Steubenville, Missouri.
It's one day from Steuben.
Right.
Quite enough.
Yes, so, yeah, so we're leaving Friday, coming back after that Mass on Sunday. So they have an early, about 10 o'clock Mass on Sunday, and then we'll probably be on the road by about noon-ish. I told them I'll just be driving straight through. I'm not gonna stop with them to get lunch. Get back here. And so that, yeah, that'll be how it goes. And then Monsignor Shaloff goes on vacation that next day.
So when is Monsignor Simon coming back?
Sunday. So actually, no, maybe I think it's actually that night. So yeah, Monsignor Shamlofer has all the Masses next weekend except for the 5:30 on Sunday.
Oh, gee.
And he also needs baptism because also Deacon Dave will be out of town as well. So there's really clergy here right now next weekend. So I asked him if he wanted me to come back early and help out. He's like, don't worry, I'm like, okay.
He's remember, but in a couple of months like that, back in
Right.
2014, when Father Anderson got appointed to a different parish up north.
Yeah, well, I think also before Father Steve came, there was kind of a situation too.
Well, he
Yeah.
didn't come in until,
Yeah.
October of the following year.
Yeah.
But
So,
Father
yeah.
Chris wasn't showing up till the end of August. And so from June 10th.
So he's no stranger, but it's always nice to have the help and you can have it. But like I said, Monsignor Simon, after the schedule came out, decided to do it about it. That's how it goes.
Well, of course, he's got a problem with these people he's going to take private schedule and he doesn't have any. I think the other two priests are still active. I mean, Monsignor Garden.
Oh, the ones he's going with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they have a fixed schedule.
In his fraternity group, with the business, yeah, I think maybe Monsignor Garden might be the only one. I'm not sure if Monsignor Force is one with him or not. But or Father Foreman. Father Foreman is the other one in that group, and also Monsignor Ernst is another one in that group that's still active. But the rest of them are either retired or those guys are pretty close to retirement too. I don't know. Monsignor Vernon, Monsignor Garden probably will go for a while. I imagine he'd probably be okay for some time. Monsignor Ernst, he might be okay too. I don't know what he's going to do after the Sultan does. Same with Father Foreman, he's still really strong. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah. All right. So again, the important parts of, well, it's all important, but the most important. Activite et manducate ex hoc omnes, hoc est enem corpus meum, quod pro vobis tradetur. In a similar way. Accipite et vivite ex eo omnes, hic est enem calix sanguinis mei, novi et aeterni testamenti, qui pro vobis et pro multis definitur in remissionem peccatorum, hoc facite in meam commemorationem. Mysterium fidei, mortem tuam, annunciamus Domine, et tuam resurrectionem confitemus, done venias. Very end. Per ipsum et cum ipso et in ipsum, est tibi Deo Patri omnipotenti, in unitate Spiritus Sancti, omnis honor et gloria per omnia saecula saeculorum. Amen. Yes, it was pointed out to me actually by Ron that I think there's a different inflection on that, so I'll have to practice that a little bit more. Because really the response is Amen. So it should be like Pro omnia saecula saeculorum. Amen. So I'll work on that. Then we have Precepitus salutaribus moniti et divina institutione formati audimus dicere. Pater noster, qui es in celis, sanctificetur nomen tuum, adveniat regnum tuum, fiat voluntas tua, sicut in cielo et in terra. Panem nostrum quotidianum da nobis hodie, et imite nobis debita nostra, sicut et nos dimitimus debitoribus nostris, et ne nos inducas in tentationem, sed libera nos a malo. Libera nos cursimus Domine ab omnibus malis, da propitius pacem in diebus nostris, ut opi misericordiae tuae auduiti, et avocatum sumus semper, liberiat ab omni perturbatione secure, expectantes beatum spem et eventum salvatoris nostri Iesu Christi.
Qui tuum est regnum et potestas et gloria in saecula.
Domini Iesu Christe, qui existi apostolis tuis, pacem relinquo vobis, pacem meam do vobis. Ne respecias peccata nostra, sed fidem ecclesiae tuae, iamque et secundum voluntatem tuam pacificare et coadunare dignaris, qui vivis et regnas in saecula saeculorum.
Amen.
Pax Domini sit semper vobiscum,
Et cum spiritu tuo.
aferte vobis pacem. Okay, so mingling right, and then Agnus Dei, qui tollis peccata mundi, miserere nobis. Agnus Dei, qui tollis peccata mundi, miserere nobis. Agnus Dei, qui tollis peccata mundi, dona nobis pacem. Ecce Agnus Dei, ecce qui tollit peccata mundi, beata qui ad cenum agne vocatis.
Domine non sum dignus, ut ingresso tectum meum, sed tantum dicere et sanabitur anima mea.
Corpus Christi, Sanctus Christi. And then Oremus, and then Per Jesum Christum,
Amen.
and then Dominus Vobiscum,
Et cum spiritu tuo.
benedicat vos omnipotens Deus, Pater et Filius et Spiritus Sanctus.
Amen.
Ite missa est.
Deo gratias.
That's a wonderful hymn. Great. So yeah, we're just getting closer to, we're in July now, so 5 months away. So we keep on practicing. Looks like we're coming along pretty well. I was actually really impressed with how many people came to that mass for the Sacred Heart that we had?
Yes.
And there were also a lot of views on for the mass of the Nativity of St. John the Baptist. So it seems like there's kind of a good following out there. Maybe something to look forward to and put on your calendar. So August 5th, I was asked, that's the first Friday. I was asked by, I do this every so often, go to St. Matthias to do the Mass of the Arts there. So they have confessions at 7. The Mass typically starts around 8-ish. And they asked me to do it in Latin in the Novus Ordo. So I will do that at that date. And then on September 6th, the first Friday in September, whatever first Friday in September is, the Ascension Mass Conference asked me to go there. That would also be ad orientem and Novus Ordo Latin. So
September 2nd. It's the first
then
Friday.
September 2nd will be the first Friday. Whatever first Friday is, September 2nd. Ascension's in Chesterfield.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So they have yeah, I think it's in the big church too. It's not in the chapel, but they also have a Mass of the Heart. So I know Father Schumacher has been doing it Latin. That's all I'm going to say. So because actually, one thing about that too is when the Motu Proprio came out, this is, I think, clarified. One of the things that was clarified in the dubia was that the faculty to actually celebrate the extraordinary form is still granted to anyone ordained prior to July of 2021. So what that means is my class, the class after us, and even the class after that, technically has the faculty to celebrate the extraordinary form.
Okay.
Now, however, do the particular places. So does that mean it can be done in a public mass or in a private mass? That is a good question, and the dubia did not really clear that up at all. So that's all I'll say. But regardless, on August 5th and then September 2nd, there'll be masses in the ordinary form in Latin. One of them will be ad orientem, meaning the priest will be facing the tabernacle with the congregation. At Ascension on September 2nd, and then St. Matthias, which is in Melville on August 5th.
Where in Melville?
It's actually on Mattis Road. So if you go, if you take
Okay, yeah, I think I know.
yeah,
West
so
of
Lime
270,
Ferry.
it's just west.
Yeah.
Oh
No.
no.
That's-
So if you take Lime
that's
Ferry
Assumption.
south,
That's
yeah.
Assumption.
Lime Ferry south, and then there's a Deerbergs on the left. And if you make a
Yes.
left of that Deerberg, so take that road, it's probably about half a mile down, if that. It'll
Oh,
be on your right. It's called St. Matthias.
okay.
So question about what's going to happen with them, with all things new, we'll see. I don't And then Ascension, of course, is,
I'm working full-time all summer, but by September, hopefully I'll be off.
okay, great. All right. Well, this is a Friday night, so I mean,
Oh, it's an
yes,
evening,
yes,
not-
evening,
not
yeah,
during the
no,
day.
it's
Oh,
a
okay.
night, so it starts,
Oh, that-
usually mass starts around 8 o'clock
Okay.
PM. So it's usually preceded by confessions. There's a Eucharist procession involved at the end. And then adoration is done throughout all the way to midnight, which another priest comes in and actually has a mass for the Immaculate Heart.
Or,
So it's the Sacred Heart on Friday and then Immaculate Heart on, that's why it's called Mass of the Hearts. It's mostly Filipino and Asian people that are there, which is awesome. God bless them. They're the ones usually kind of coordinate it, and they always do that every month at those two
Okay.
places. I understand.
On August 5th, the Yankee, we're going to the Yankees to play.
Okay, okay. Well, September 2nd still open too.
September 2nd, I
So
said,
you can have to go
oh
there.
my
That's
God.
a little farther out, but you know, still it should work. So.
Yeah.
So if everyone's interested, you're more than welcome to come to those. And I know that Ascension especially, they have that on a regular basis every first Friday, for the most part. So
well, August 5th is Our Lady of the Snows.
Oh, is it in Belleville?
I think
Well,
so.
no, I think it's
No,
just a feast day.
general
Feast day,
feast day.
okay, and they probably have their novena then.
is that right? Because August 6th is Transfiguration.
That's right, but August 5th is Our Lady. So,
Okay.
All right. All right. So we can.
ever since, I think I was a third grader when our pastor gave a great homily on what happened in Rome. The
Yeah.
Snow,
That's
the
true.
Basilica to Our Lady was built.
Yep.
All that. I never forgot that.
Yeah, that wasn't the
I'll be
5th
darned.
century.
5th century,
Yeah.
in the 400s.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Wow.
Well, good. All right.
Okay.
So we'll hopefully see everyone there, and thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Have a good night.